Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba, bum, bum. Hello, Saudi, welcome. Da-da, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba, bum. What the heck? Bum, ba-da, bum, 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 bum. That's better. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. All righty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card readings. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and I was drawing some comics, so I got a little bit caught up in my drawing, and it's okay. I'll see you when you get back, Lasadi. um, got caught up in drawing my comics, and so I lost track of time. But we are here now. Ba, 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 ba. A little disorganized, but so we are going to pull some cards. But the first thing I would like to do is call in sacred space, which effectively turns what would be an ordinary. Oh, come on. Oh, Coyote medicine is in fine form tonight. Yeah, there you go. You can do it. Aha. All right. So I like to, yay, Lasadi's back. I like to set sacred space because that takes an ordinary, everyday, run of the mill YouTube video and turns it into a ceremony. Spirits of the earth, spirits of the air, spirits of the fire, spirits of the water, spirits of the everworld, spirits of the lower, compassionate spirits of the middle world, the fae, the spirits of the land, the ancestors of the land. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for holding us in your love and your light. Oh. All right, my friends, hello and welcome. We are going to pull some medicine cards. If you're new here, the way this works is the first 5 people to say yes in the comments get a 1 card medicine card reading. The medicine cards, it's a deck where every card has a different totem animal on it. And so depending on which animal, every animal has a different message, a different meaning. And being your friendly neighborhood shaman, as I tune into the energy of that animal, get kind of a personalized um, reading for you, what needs focused on, what's going on in your life, or whatever. And still getting organized here. So, um, and if you are not one of the first 5, there is no panda card, Lasati. This was made by a couple people, one which was a Native American woman. And so it's basically animals in North America, but even in that, it's a little bit lacking. In fact, there's many times when I'm doing a reading for people and like one animal will come up, but when I tune into it, there's actually it's kind of like the card is just hinting at another animal. It's like the closest thing in this deck to like a certain animal, another animal or something. So, and I've done readings before where I'm about to pull the cards. It's like, nope. Okay, well, here's the panda bear. Some an animal that doesn't actually exist in this deck actually pops up front, and so I go from that. But um, eventually, if you follow my Facebook page, my Perching Wolf Studios Facebook page, or my Perching Wolf Studios Substack page, I'm just starting to get the hang of Substack. Every Tuesday is Totem Tuesday, and so I post um, every Tuesday. I post a different drawing of an animal that I've done, and a little paragraph or two or three about the medicine of that animal. So if you look on my Facebook page, if you look in the photos, you can see like a whole bunch of different photo drawings, animal drawings that I've done. If you click on those, usually that's from a Totem Tuesday, and I do have panda on there. So um, okay, so just flying by the seat of my pants. Since you asked, Lasati, I'm going to consider that the first card. And so the first card is Panda, even though it doesn't exist in the deck. But um, so Panda Medicine. Oh, let me say first, for those, if you're watching this on replay, so that you haven't weren't able to become one of the five, if there's still plenty of room, if anyone wants a one card medicine card reading, all you need to do is say yes in the comments. And so then I will go through and do a one card reading for you. If you are not one of the original five, all you need to do is choose a number between one and five and listen to that card. And I promise that whatever message you need is going to be interwoven into that card. Um, and then at the end, once I've done the first five cards, um, if you were to come to me individually for a full reading, I do a five-card reading called the Medicine Wheel spread, which consists of five cards. Coincidence? I think not. And so I take those first five cards and I'll do a full spread and go through that as a reading for the entire community, kind of see how our individual medicine, our individual paths interweave into what is going on with the entire community. So, and hopefully I can get this done all within 2 hours. But one thing I want to say before we get going, because I have a tendency to do all the my announcements at the end, and by the end, like I said, 2 hours or so, a lot of people have dropped off. So I want to say some things in the beginning just to let you know of an opportunity coming up this coming Thursday, the 9th. I am going to be teaching my Introduction to Shamanic Journey class. I have a post on my YouTube channel. It's on my Perching with Space Facebook page, or you can find the information on my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. If you look into the upcoming events and classes, um, it's a 3-hour class Thursday night on Zoom, so you can be anywhere, take it from anywhere. And this class is your first step onto the shamanic path. Once you take this class, you have everything you need to begin living a shamanic class. It doesn't mean you're a shaman. That is a little bit more involved, which I will cover in that class. I'll talk about it in that class. But if you are looking for spiritual direction, if you are looking for a spiritual teacher, if you're ever been curious about shamans or shamanism and what it is, um, oh, thank you, Kim. Yes, there is room. And so it's really, it's not only I spend it like I spend half the class talking about shamanism, giving the history, the cosmology, and all those kind of things. And then the second half of the class, I will actually teach you the technique of shamanic journeying, which is the technique shamans have used for over 100,000 years. I just saw a video on YouTube the other day that mentioned evidence that shamanism goes back 400,000 years. So this is the original shamanic, original spiritual practice. And the shamanic journey is basically using the sound of the drum or rattle, a repetitive sound, which basically entrains your brain waves to a theta level where you can access the spirit realms. And during this class, you will actually meet and interact with your own power animal spirit guide. You will meet one of your spirit animals and not just learn about them, but actually begin a conversation. Shamanism is a relationship, shamanism is a conversation with our spirits. Um, and so if that is something that interests you, I have a post again on my YouTube channel. I posted a couple of things, um, or on my Facebook page, Perchingo Studios Facebook page, or on my website, perchingostudios.net. And if you do take that class and you enjoy it, or if you already know how to do shamanic journeying, um, oh, I'll have some good homework. Happy homework, Lasati. I'm gonna do I'm going to do your card really quick. I'm almost done. So I just want to mention that the following next week, starting Thursday night, I'm starting an entire year-long course in shamanism, where the third Thursday of every month we meet for 3 hours and we explore a different aspect of shamanism. Um, and I have information about that on my YouTube channel as well. And so, for those who are just joining us, if you would like a one card reading with the medicine card deck, all you need to do is say yes in the comments. I'll take the first 5 people. I've got 2 already. And Lasati, if you can take a moment before your homework, I'll do yours first. Um, because Lasati is one of my stalwart followers, she asked about Panda Bear. And there is, because the medicine card deck is about, is all like North American animals. Panda Bear isn't a part of it, but you know what? I'm going to go off script. And I am going, so our first card tonight for Lasati is Panda Bear, even though it's not in the deck. Um, so Panda Bear, anytime you have an animal, like Panda Bear or skunk or one of those kind of like black and white animals, a big part of that medicine is about focus or discernment, right? Um, and it's like the yin yang, right? It's the interaction and the interplay between the dark and the light. Not dark as in evil. Darkness is not evil. Darkness is the divine feminine. It's the womb of the cosmic mother. It is the womb from which all things come. It's the darkness of the womb that holds all potential. Every potential future is held within that darkness. And then we, as we emerge out of that darkness into the light, we choose whatever timeline or reality or future that we want, and we draw that out of the dark into the light, and we manifest what is in the dark. So it's this total balance and dance of dark and light, of hard and soft. Um, and discernment about, like with the black and the white, if there's something you don't like, you go back into the darkness, back into the void. You decide what it is you want, and you focus on that and bring that into the light, into the white of reality, right? Um, and just like the spirit of panda, um, there's so much play. I mean, I have a hard time even thinking about panda without laughing because all I can see is videos of pandas just like rolling around like a bowling ball and knocking into things or just flopping down like a rag mop or something, right? It's like there's this playfulness. It's like this everything. How do I put this? It's kind of like that. There's a quote from Oscar Wilde about how life is too important to be taken seriously. And there's not a lot about life that pandas take seriously, and there's a sense of curiosity, this childlike wonderment of what if I do this? Or what happens now? What will this do? Um, and so there's that childlike wonder that looking through the eyes of a child, like kind of when they talk about Zen mind, beginner's mind, right? Where you you release all the filters, you release all the things that you've been taught, and you look at everything as if it's the first time you ever saw it, right? Um, as an example, I always bring up that story of there was somewhere where this a truck tried to drive under a bridge that was too low. Um, Hi Jesus or Jesus or welcome. Um, The truck tried to drive under a low bridge and it got stuck partway through. And so it was a mess. And the city called out all the engineers and all the different emergency people and all the different, maintenance people. And so there's all these adults, all these people with degrees and experience and all this stuff. And they're standing there in the road arguing about what should do to get this truck unstuck. Now, are we going to have to remove a part of the bridge in order to get the truck through? Do we have to take the, the truck apart? Do we have to just ram it with something else to push it all the way through? And all these different layer upon layer upon layer of um, of of thought and experience and filters and all these things. And as they're arguing, this little 5-year-old kid comes riding by on his bike. And he's like, well, why don't you just let the air out of the tires? This kid looked at it, saw the truck, saw the tires, had no education, had no, well, if this happens and this happens, and all the, guggly gook, um, and just like, let the air out of the tires, right? And it's like that story of the Westerner who went to a Zen monk and was like, I want to know everything you know. Teach me. I want to know everything, right? And he's telling the monk all the things that he's known and all the experiences he's had and all that he's learned through the years. And the monk, meanwhile, is pouring a cup of tea. And he keeps pouring, and the cup fills up and starts running over. And the Westerner's like, what are you doing? It's like, it's full. The cup is full. Why are you still pouring? And the monk was like, this cup is like your mind. It's like, it's so full of learning already that there's no room for anything else. You have to empty your cup in order to learn more. You have to forget everything. You have to approach things as though they were new. Right. And so um, that's panda mind, right? Pandemonium. Um, And there's also an aspect of panda medicine where um, that whole gentle giant, right? Pandas are huge. They're big boned, right? Actually, most of the time they don't look like they actually even have bones, right? They're flopsy but it's like they have all this strength and they're very powerful, and yet they wouldn't hurt a fly. They eat bamboo. They're not even carnivorous. They eat bamboo. And so there's this harmonious um, kind of working in harmony with the world, with the universe, rather than trying to force your way into the world or figure out where you belong in the world. It's just your presence and your existence are self-evident. Um, you're worthy of existing because you do. There's nothing that you need to prove, nothing you need to earn. And so you just take it in stride, say, I exist, this is my world. And so I'm going to live in harmony. I'm going to work with the flow. Very Zen, right? Um, Actually, I should say very Tao because they're Chinese, right? Um, and so it's very Taoist. It's very, very um, path of least resistance, trusting that everything is going to work out, trusting that there is a bigger plan, that you aren't separate from the universe or from the intelligence behind the universe, so that when you can let go and get into touch with your own true nature, you can trust that the universe will flow with you and around you, that you don't have to fit in. You don't have to earn your place. You already are the Tao, that all that is that which you can name is not the Tao, right? It's the experience, the presence of it, being present in the now, being present in the world, and being open to all the experiences, knowing that you are whole, that you are safe, and that you are protected. Okay. I need to make a note of what my cards are. So, for those of you just joining us, that was our first card, Panda, because the Saudi wanted to know about panda medicine. So, I worked it in as their first card. It's not in the deck. So, this is going to be interesting when I get to the, the community reading at the end. So, and so far, I've only got one more other person who requested a reading. So, you love pandas? I could go on and on. Um, I can't help but think of Kung Fu Panda. There's like if you think of Kung Fu Panda, he's not this rough and tumble, you know, hard edges, kung fu, karate, etc. Everything he does, even though he's this, the dragon warrior, he there's this softness that comes with him. There's this innocence, right? Like he doesn't really know what he's doing, but it happens anyway, and everything always works out, right? Um, and he really cares about others, right? So there you go, Lasati. I hope that is helpful. So if there's anyone else that is wanting a one card reading, all you need to do is say yes in the comments, or this might be a short night. That would be okay too. I never know what's going to happen. So, but thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. I didn't even thank you guys. So, if you're new here, welcome. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. We are pulling medicine cards, which is a beautiful deck with animal totems on it. And if you would like a one card reading, all you have to do is say yes in the comments. I've got space for 3 more people. So our second card is for Kim. Kim, you messaged me a long time ago and I never got back to you. I thought I had, but I haven't. And I've been wanting to talk to you about something else anyway. So I'm hoping we can talk soon. I want to ask you some stuff. But okay, card number 2 for Kim. All right. Card number 2 for Kim is salmon in reverse. Um, and salmon in reverse can be um, could be a sense of spinning your wheels, of feeling a certain kind of an urgency, right? Of like you've got somewhere to go, you've got something you need to complete. Um, and it's not like something from outside, like I've got to finish my homework kind of thing, but it's like there's something inside of you driving you forward um, toward your purpose. It's like the inborn purpose, where you belong, right? Home, right? Salmon medicine is about returning home, returning to your origin. Hey, Charles, welcome. And so in reverse, it could be the sense, like I know a lot of us have those dreams where you're like trying to run someplace and it's like you're not able to even move. It's like you're running, your legs are flailing and you're not getting anywhere. Or there's something that you forgot that you need to do and you're trying to figure out what that thing is. And reverse salmon is kind of that sense of urgency, but that sense of you're not getting it done or you're not able to remember what it is you're supposed to do. Um, and so it's kind of like swimming in circles. And so what the message is, what that is kind of saying to you is to um, it's funny because I was just talking about panda bear and going with the flow, right? And is going with the flow, but salmon follows the undercurrents upriver. Salmon is still swimming with the flow, but salmon sees pathways that others don't. And so the message is to um, let go of trying to figure things out, trying to logic things. What am I supposed to do? And drop. The longest distance in the world is from here to here, right? But it's to drop out of the head and into your heart and you know find that stillness within you and instead of listening to all the opinions around you or judging where you are in comparison to where others are and trying to figure out where you're supposed to be, um, your heart is your compass, and your heart is um, the part of you that knows where you're meant to be. Hey, Moon Honey, welcome. Good to see you again. Um, and so stop fighting, right? Stop fighting the current. It's kind of like this catch 22 where, if you think of salmon, right? And most fish kind of swim with the current. I know that's an oversimplification, but and meanwhile, salmon is trying to swim up into the current, but it's almost like this catch 22 where you're trying to where and I'm speaking this like this resonates with me because I've been going through similar realizations for myself recently that I'm trying to fulfill my purpose in my life, and yet I keep looking at it from the viewpoint of other people and trying to justify what I'm trying to do from their point of view. And so you can see it's like this back and forth, and there's no progress being made because I'm trying to speak butterfly language to caterpillars. I'm trying, and I'm not talking actually about, other people because all these voices and all these things are inside of me. So it's like the butterfly part of me trying to justify to the caterpillar part of me that this is the right thing to do, right? And I just saw a little video from Kyle Cease, someone who I follow on YouTube and stuff. And he was talking about if you have to justify it, if you have to explain why you're doing something, then it's not your path. It is not your vocation. Because what your path, your vocation, you don't need to um, qualify it. You don't have to make excuses for it. Like he used the example of like his daughter. He doesn't say things like, "Well, what did he say?" I can't remember. Now I can't remember. It was funny though. It was kind of like, well, she does this for me, so I'm going to keep her, right? As if everything were transactional, right? Well, I get, I don't like my job, but I get good medical, so I'll keep the job. It's like if you're having to justify things, if you're having to justify what you're doing, um, then it's not your path. Then it is not truly your path, right? Because if you were doing your thing like me with being a shaman, it's like I never question that because it's who I am. It's not something I do. It's who I am, and I don't have to say, well, you know, it doesn't pay the bills, but it makes me look good to other people or whatever, right? It's like I'm not doing that kind of thing. I'm not having to justify, well, I'm going to keep doing it because I'm getting this from it. It's like it's something I can't not do. It's something I never even question. Or my cartooning. The other thing, my other passion in the world, some of you know this, is cartooning. I've always wanted to be, from the time I could draw, from the time I could pick up a pencil, I've always drawn comics. And that's my other passion. And I've self-published some things, but like I said, like I was late starting this video because I was so into drawing my a comic page. I was drawing a page of my comics beforehand, and I was so into drawing it that I lost track of time, so I was late. Um, um, exactly, Moon Honey. If you have to justify it, it's not your true path, right? I Till the day I die, the the two things I can be certain of is I will be a shaman I will be a cartoonist. Whether I'm ever published, whether I ever heal another person, if not, I never teach another class, till the day I die, I will do these things because it is so much a part of me. It's not a well, I'm gonna keep drawing because one of these days I might be successful. It's like I've been drawing comics my entire life, right? And like I said, I've self-published a few things, not making any money at it, not getting any great exposure, but I'm gonna keep drawing because that's who I am, right? This one, incidentally, so I've been told one of my some of my guidance recently was to kind of lean into my whimsical self. You draw too, Charles? Awesome. And so Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett have always been my big heroes as a child. And in the past few years, just because of the videos I watch and the things I read, I found out that both of them had Bigfoot encounters, had encounters with Sasquatch. And so I am currently drawing a comic. This I did one already on the day on Davy Crockett's encounter. This is on Daniel Boone's encounter. See, there's the Sasquatch right there, who he's pushing out of the way because he fell over. He shot the Sasquatch that fell over on his son. Um, anyway, so this is my passion. This is what I live for. This just gets my juices flowing, and um, whether anyone ever reads it or not, I'm going to do it. So it's like, do what you cannot not do. Follow your heart, follow the passion. That's what Joseph Campbell meant when he said to follow your bliss. Because when you follow your bliss, where there were only walls, doors will open, right? Um, and so we'll see what happens with my comics. But and the interesting thing is the more and more I've been kind of a lot of time like that part of me was not really ever supported by my family, and so it became kind of this um underground kind of like had to do it when I could, and different things. And now it's like I'm actually that I've been focusing on this is it's like the shamanism I've got going. It's time to get the comics going, and um all of a sudden um things have started to open up. um Moon honey, what's a good practice? Get out of your head and into your heart because it can be hard. Fear of missing something or making a mistake. Number one, nothing that was ever meant for you will pass you by. Okay? You can't miss out. Opportunity does not knock just once. The universe revolves around, the universe responds to you. And so the ironic thing is while you're up here in your head trying to figure things out and chasing things, you're actually pushing things further away from you. You're making them run away because you're chasing them. But if you were to drop into your heart where you weren't actively pursuing them, they would come and roll over at your feet, right? Um, and there are no mistakes, right? Um, a mistake is like when they're filming a movie, right? Okay, take two. Okay, that one was screwed up. Okay, take three. It's a mistake. You start over. There's nothing, it doesn't go on your permanent record. You're never there's no punishment. There's no the universe, your guides, your ancestors, they don't judge you. They're not up there with a red pencil taking marks and giving you stars or giving you check marks or, you know, dooming you for all eternity because of something you do. Every moment is a new beginning. And sometimes, so listen to this, sometimes it took me the longest time to figure this out. But sometimes, how do I put this into words? It's in the not following my guidance that I learn my biggest lessons. Like my guidance, my heart says, go this way, right? And I'm like, no, I got to do it this way, right? And I do it that way and everything falls apart. And it's like, oh, see, I should have listened to my heart. I should have listened to my gut. That was the right way. And so it's like the universe is like a giant GPS system, right? If you make a wrong turn, rerouting, and the universe will bring you back to your next best line timeline. And all those so-called mistakes are just experiences. They aren't um, points against you. They're experience. And when you can see them as an experience, that's how you gain the pearl of wisdom from that experience to move forward. Because once you experience that, it's like you never have to experience that again. It's like, oh, I know what happens when I do that, right? I never have to make that choice again. I've already been there, right? Um, like when I'm a sacred pipe carrier, right? I do my pipe ceremonies. And when I first started out, it's like you put the tobacco into the bowl of the pipe. It's like a peace pipe if you don't know. Um, and then I have a porcupine quill that I use to kind of tap it down and kind of mix it up a little bit in the bowl to make more space. And when I first started out, I would hold I would hold the quill like this, right? And I'd be poking and it would hit the bottom of the thing and it boop, ow, it's a porcupine quill. It's sharp on the other end. And so I learned now I was like, I will never hold my quill like that again because I've got the physical memory of the pain that happens when I do it this way. I'm not going to say the wrong way, but when I do it this way, there's a result that I don't like. And so I've learned now when I pick it up, I just naturally pick it up this way and I tamp this way, right? So it's the mistakes are like the rumble strips on the side of the road that you're like, oh, I'm off center. Okay, I need to just recenter. I need to bring myself off of the side of the road and back into the center. And to answer your question on how to do that, there's so many different ways to answer that. But a while back, I asked my guides for a method. Exactly, being in your heart is learning how to rest and trust. Exactly. Truth feels like peace. It might not always be easy to hear the truth, right? But at the same time, even the hardest truth will carry with it a sense of peace. Um, but a while back, I asked my guides for how, like, something I can do to center myself. Hey, Tammy, yay! I still have spaces left if you want a card. Um, and so, and Kim, I'm not like on a tangent. This is still working with salmon energy. Awesome. So it's that I asked my guides a while back for a method to get into my heart. And so my guides taught me this meditation. And It's really simple, right? You sit in meditation, you quiet yourself, and as you inhale, as you inhale, you picture that beautiful green luminescent energy of the earth rising up through your chakras to your heart. So when you inhale, you think to yourself, earth up. So earth up. And then when you go to exhale, you kind of reach into the sky, find that beautiful golden or silver energy of the sun and the moon. And as you exhale, you think sky down and you open your crown and you exhale, you bring that energy down into your heart from the sky. And so you continue earth up, sky down, earth up, sky down. And I've used that and it really helps. It basically puts you between, you're like centered, balanced between heaven and earth, literally, and brings you in. And because you're thinking earth up, sky down, your mind is active. It's not running off thinking about other things. It's got a job, and the job is in harmony with your intention. And so you just continue to do that. And as you continue to feel your heart lighting up with that beautiful earth energy and that beautiful sky energy, you become connected to both. You become into alignment. And one of the things I'm always telling people is that it's so important before acting to find alignment with your spirit, because then everything you do from that point forward is inspired, inspirited, and that's where real change takes place. If you're just running around trying to fix things, all you're doing is rearranging boxes. There's no real change taking place. Um, but when you get into alignment where you are connected to the essence and spirit of all things, everything you do changes the world, changes the universe. Um, and you don't have to figure out what to do. That's when you're listening to your heart, and your heart says, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Even though I've got this, and this happened to me, even though I've got all the milk and all the bread and all the dinners I need, I'm going to go to the grocery store. So I go to the grocery store and I run into a friend who I haven't seen for like a decade, and we connect, and things go from there. It's like you listen to your heart no matter how insane it might seem. Listen to your heart, follow the nudges of your heart, because your heart is what connects you to all living things. Your heart is what connects you to creator. And so whatever comes through your heart is divine intervention. And your heart therefore can take in the perspective of everything. Your heart knows so much more, all the variables, all the things that we can't figure out with our head. Like Dr. Wayne Dyer said, no one knows enough to be a pessimist. Our brain can't physically conceive of every variable, and there's always more variables that the universe can see. There's always opportunities, there's always connections. There's always so I got all the food I need, but I'm going to go to the grocery store. Boom. I restart a friendship that had kind of gone by the wayside for 10 years. And then everything that blossomed from that, right? It's like follow your heart. Don't listen to the world. Don't listen to the opinions of others. Take everyone else out of the equation, because your heart is your compass. And it's the things that make your heart feel good. It's those things that bring joy to you. When you feel that joy, That's when you know you're going in the right direction. It might be exactly the opposite direction everyone else is going in. And people might look at you crazy like you're crazy, but the thing is to trust your heart, to trust your vision. Like I said, the salmon see pathways that other fish don't. And so they're not just fighting the good fight and fighting the current like it's some big heroic thing to do. They're following the ebb flows, the where the river goes backwards, where the whirlpools, etc. Like and like at the base of every waterfall, there are whirlpools, and it's like the salmon are hitting those whirlpools and flinging themselves. They're slingshotting up the falls. How do you think they can jump that far? They can't do it on just their own getting a good running start and jumping. They hit those whirlpools and that flings them up and over the falls. So when you're going in the right direction, you see that's that door opening where there were only walls. Other people see that. They don't see the pathways, they see walls, but you see the doorway opening. Oh, there's my portal to flying over the falls. So listen to your heart and trust your heart. Trust we're so taught to postpone our joy or that joy is just a side thing that we have to nose to the grindstone, etc. But if you listen to your joy, it will carry you where you're meant to go. Do what is joyful. That is the key because that is what you came here to do. That is who you came here to be. Joy is the answer. You came to be joyful. All right. So I hope that helps, Kim. All right. Card number 3 for Tammy. I got 2 spots still open if anybody is wanting a card. Might be kind of well, and kind of verbose as usual. So we'll see what happens. All right. Hmm. All right. Tammy, card number 3 is Lizard reversed. So, um, Lizard is the dreamer. And so in reverse, it can be the sense of being out of control or being trapped, right? Like I was talking about dreams earlier where you there's something you're supposed to be doing, but you can't remember where you're supposed to go or how you're supposed to do it or what even the mission was. But you're running and running and running and running trying to find it. And it's like the sense of just being trapped, of expending all this energy and getting nowhere. Um, and so it's time to reclaim your place as the dreamer of your life. Life is but a dream. It's like it's time to take center stage. Um, and it may be time, how do I put this in words? It might be time to let go of some things, just the same way that that lizard will drop his tail to get away from a predator. Um, the tail sits there and jumps around and it keeps the predator focused. It's kind of like misdirection, right? Distraction so that the lizard can get away. It might be time to let go of some things um, that at first might seem like it would be really painful to let go of, but like the lizard, the tail is set up in that way that it can drop off painlessly. So it might seem like, oh my God, you're going to rip off my tail. That's going to hurt. Like, but it's not like us ripping it off an arm or something, right? It's like the tail drops. It's like there's a system in place. There's um, structure in place to allow that to happen painlessly. And so um, it's like kind of one of those. It feels like something like there's something coming and you're kind of dreading it because you think it's going to be awful and it's going to hurt and it's going to have ramifications and ripple into every play area of your life and you don't know how you're going to get over it, right? And then you do it and it's like, oh, you're so welcome, Kim. I'm so glad that meant something to you. um, when you finally address the issue and let it go, it's like instead of being this painful thing that drags you down, it's like dropping this weight that you didn't know was even there. And all of a sudden you feel so much lighter and you're like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because the longer we hold on to things that don't fit, the longer we are postponing allowing into our life the things that do fit, right? I remember, for instance, this is kind of a weird example, but this woman I was dating a number of years ago, we had a pretty good relationship, but it was kind of not going anywhere. And we were both kind of questioning it. And she actually told me at one point that um, she actually told me that she was just hanging on to me until someone better came along. And um, I didn't really take offense at that, like, how dare you, or anything like that. My first thought was like, well, I have to go then because I am not a space keeper. And if I don't belong with you, if you're holding on to me expecting someone else to come in, then not only am I doing myself a disservice, I'm also doing you a disservice by taking up space that needs to be open for your next best thing to come in. Does that make sense? And so at that point, it's like I had to go. I couldn't stay. And it made me realize I was kind of doing not exactly the same thing. I was wondering, like, is this the best thing? Is this not? Am I, do we belong? Do we not? And when she said that, it was kind of like, okay, I don't belong here because I'm not obviously fulfilling you. And it's a mutual, there's always, the feelings are all it's never one-sided, especially when it comes to relationships, whether it's, family or romantic or work or whatever it is, you know, it's a non-zero sum, right? If it's good for one, the one is good for the other as well. It feeds both of them. And if it's not good for one, there's no way it's good for the other one. And so um, I had to let go of that um, because I, by staying, I was allowing this relationship into my energy that wasn't suited to me, that wasn't fulfilling me, but there was no space for anyone else to come in. There was no space for what I actually deserved and what would actually be good and supportive to me to come in as long as I held on to that, right? So, um, and the thing is, Moon Honey, yes, I can put up, you are next. I will give you a card happily. Awesome. Um, the thing with Lizard's tail, though, is if something is really a part of you, you can't lose it. You can't lose anything. If something is meant for you, if something is a part of you, you might let go of it momentarily, but like Lizard, the tail grows back. It's not a permanent letting go. And so um, there may be a case of needing to let something go temporarily, and it may come back, it may work out down the line, or it may not, and something else comes into that space. But at the moment, it's like there needs to be a space there. Um, I was just, like I mentioned earlier, I was listening to a Kyle Cease video, and he was talking about um, once after he broke up with his girlfriend. It's like he started missing her and kind of wanted to call her, but he knew that if he called her and they got back together and all this stuff, that he would be doing it from a place of pain, that he would be doing it to refill that hole that he was now feeling, this space that needed to be filled by himself. So it wouldn't be a move forward toward his ultimate growth. It would be a step backward into comfort, even though it's not, it's familiar. There's no vitality there, there's no heart there. It's just going through the motions, right? So follow the vitality, and if something is vital to you, it will come back, it will grow back. You cannot lose anything. You are everything, right? Law of attraction, you can be, have, or do anything. You already are all things. You are already connected to all things. There is no separation. And so it's kind of like it's the layers of the onion, right? It's like we get to a certain point, like, phew, I'm glad that's it. Okay, I've gone as far as I need to go. Everything is going to be smooth sailing from now on. And it's like, no, it's not. There are more layers of the onion, and you don't stop removing the layers until you get to the bone, till you get to the core of who you are. Right? This whole path is about um, releasing the false images, releasing the false connections, releasing the things, the feelings, and the objects, and the people, and everything that we associate with our identity. There's um, Inanna, right? Tammy, that's the picture you gave me. The story of Inanna, right? Inanna is the Sumerian queen of heaven, and her sister Erishkigal was the queen of the underworld, the queen of the dead. And one day, Inanna wanted to go visit her sister. And so she shows up at the gates of the underworld with in all her regalia and all of her guards and all of her glory. And she ends up going through the seven gates to the underworld. And at every gate, they remove something else. She had to let go. She couldn't bring with her her crown, right? The next one, she couldn't carry with her her title, all these things, her garments. She showed up in Erishkigal's court naked, with no titles, with no power. She had to give everything up in order to enter the underworld. Everything that she associated with her identity, she had to let go. But um, once there, she realized, is that realization that you are not any of those things. You are not your title. You are not your clothing. You are not even your physical body. I have a body. I am not my body. I have thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I have emotions. I am not my emotions. You are not any of those things. And so this is a paring down of all those things that we think are us that are not our title, our rank, our story, our name, right? And I I did this ceremony, this ritual one time with a pagan group nearby, and it was one of the most powerful rituals I've ever been in. And we basically followed the path of Inanna, and we had to cover our eyes with this gauze, so that we couldn't really see. It was after dark, so and we had a rope. We were hanging onto this rope. We were being led around the grounds in the dark with this rope, with our eyes covered, and we had to pass through seven gates. And I don't remember all the things, but it's like, when you hit like one gate, and it's like, are you willing to let go of your name? You cannot take your name with you any further. Yes or no? And if you said no, you had to let go of the rope. But so at each of the seven gates, we let go of all these other superficial things, so that by the time we actually arrived in Erishkigal's court, we had nothing. And there was a woman basically channeling Erishkigal up on her throne. And individually, we had to approach her throne, go up the stairs to her throne, the stairs that I tripped going up. Ta-da! And we had to like face her face to face, one on one, and tell her what it was in the land of the living that calls us back. What is calling us back to the land of the living, or we are, and this isn't written ceremony. This isn't like really like selling our soul to the demons or whatever, but it was like, this like, and my answer was creativity. That was my reason for returning to the land of the living. And she was like, that is a good thing. I remember creativity. And so she released me to return from her underworld to the land of living. It was one of the most powerful rituals I've ever been in. But that is in essence what's going on for you right now. It's that letting go of the tail, letting go of everything that you think is yourself that isn't. It's getting into the very meaty, juicy core of your essence beyond all things. To realize that you are the dreamer. You aren't the dream. You're the dreamer who is putting everything in your life into place. So, hoofda, got some dark goddess medicine going on. And not dark as in evil or bad. Like I said earlier, I was talking about when I was talking about Panda Bear. It's like the dark as in the womb, the creation, all potential. That is you getting in touch with the full potential of the void, of the womb of the universe, the womb of the cosmic mother. So I hope that resonates. I hope that helps. I love that I still have the picture you gave me. All right, card number 4 for Moon Honey. We might just have to call it at 4 cards. I haven't had anyone else. Plus, I've been talking a lot, and we're almost running out of time. Okay, Moon Honey. Huh. Yeah, Charles, perfect. Yes, you are, you will be next after this one. So card number 4 for Moon Honey is possum. Everything is possible. Um, Interesting. So it's kind of like I've been doing these cards for so long that like they come up and um oh, possum, that means this, and I kind of go off on the usual thing. But for you, normally, possum is the actor of the animal kingdom, right? Um she recognizes that all the world's a stage and each of us must play a part, right? She realizes that she isn't the character she's playing, she's the actor playing the character. That like Wayne Dyer used to say, she's a spirit having a human experience or a possum experience, not a possum having a spiritual experience. So she sees beyond the fourth wall. She realizes that, it's not to take things less, I don't know how to put this into words because I already talked about how life is too important not to be taken seriously. But at the same time, she because she sees through the illusion of life doesn't mean that she takes it as non-consequential or as meaningless. She realizes that she's here for a reason. She knows she's more than just the physical body and existence, that there is much more to her beyond the scene, but she is here for a purpose. And so she is following her purpose, even though she can see beyond the fourth wall. She's still um, experiencing this world for what it's worth, right? So that is the main thing I normally go into when possum comes up. And that's still valid, like to remember that that this world is an illusion, that this world is just a production, and that um, at some point the curtains will close and you will step out, you will take your bows, um, receive an Emmy, and go on about your spirit life, right? Um, the same time for you, what is coming into my head is it's um my guides keep showing me the prehensile tail, right? Possums have a prehensile tail. In fact, in so many like cartoons and comics and such, they usually drop possum hanging from their tail from the tree, right? Um, and it's like there's hidden abilities that you have, hidden talents um, that you're just starting to realize. Like the prehensile tail is basically like another hand or another appendage to use for balance or in so many different ways. But it's like it's an added dimension of ability of what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word at the moment, but it's like you have so many more abilities than um, others might see. Others might underestimate you, and you you probably have experienced the thing where you do something that just comes naturally, right? And then everyone else is just like, how the hell did you do that? How the heck did you pull it off? Right? And to you, it's the most natural thing in the world because you have these hidden abilities, these talents, um, these knacks for putting things together in a different way, holding things together, holding yourself in a different way that allows things to happen that to others seem miraculous. And even though you're becoming more and more aware of yourself as that spirit having a human experience, that there's so much more to you than the scene, that there's the part of you out there that is acting out this ego, this personality, but that gives you an extra, what do I want to call it? An extra point of stability, an extra point of balance. Because your tail, it's interesting, we're talking tails, like we were just talking about the lizard tail. Now we're talking about possum's tail. But your tail isn't like lizard's tail where you just drag it behind you, right? Your tail is a moving, almost like a living entity unto itself. You can move it, you can grasp things with it, you can hold your own weight with it. Um, so it's a whole new point of balance and stability and of like creating miracles, performing miracles that others don't don't have. I'm not going to say they don't have the ability to, because everyone is magical, everyone is spirit. But where you are now and the world around you, you are in a place of demonstrating abilities and properties that others are not yet aware of in themselves. In other words, you are this great influence on all of those around you. Um, and the beautiful thing, one of my favorite things about possum also is that they are immune to all sorts of venoms and poisons. Um, I read that it would take 80 some rattlesnake bites before a possum would start to feel the effects of the venom. And so because of that extra ability, that extra point of stability and balance and prowess, um, and because you can see through the illusion of things, you are not affected by the things that would take others who believe themselves just to be physical down. Does that make sense? Things that would knock other people to their knees because they're wrapped up in the ego and think their personality is everything that they are, that there is no more, and that the physical world is just everything that there is, that there isn't anything beyond it. Because you have that awareness, the things that take them to their knees don't affect you in the same way because you've got you've got more wiggle room. Your reality has more wiggle room because you're not trapped in between four walls, right? You have three walls and the fourth one isn't there. So there's that space for expansion. Um, and so things don't pile up in the same way for you that they tend to for others. And so trust, I guess the big message here is to trust your magical self. Trust there's always been things about yourself that you've known that you haven't let on to others, things that set you apart from the crowd, special things that you know you're good at, little magical things or little tricks that you do um, to stay centered, to maintain your own integrity. And rather than just playing those off or you know downplaying those things, allow yourself to appreciate how magical you are. Allow yourself to look back on your life and to see all of those instances where that magic came forth, where that magical tail actually kept you from falling off the branch, right? Or kept your balance when someone else might have lost their balance and fell into the hole or whatever it is. um, Start to appreciate that part of you, start to celebrate that magical part of you. Okay. um, because energy flows where consciousness goes, and the more you focus on the magical aspects of your life, the more you focus on all the things that happen, that go your way, that fall into place magically, the more those things will continue. Okay. So I hope that is helpful. We'll do one more card for Charles. Oh, I need to write this one down. One more card, and then we will do a big spread for the community. Ba, 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 da, ba, 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 da, ba, ba, da, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 ba, da, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba, da, ba, bum, bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum, bum. All right, Charles. card number 5 is owl reversed. Um, and this, I mean, this kind of nests really well with everything else tonight. Owl Owl has eyesight that is just as keen as eagle's eyesight, right? They always talk about the eagle eye, and how well they can see. Owl's eyes are just as keen as eagle's, only owl sees at night. Owl sees through the dark. So in a way, at least in my opinion, you could say owl's eyes are even better because she can see in the dark. And um, this is about, again, this is so similar to a lot of the other things I said tonight already because it's not seeing with your eyes, not seeing with your brain, but seeing with your heart. Reach out with your feelings, use the force. Um, when you trust your heart, when you look at something, when you feel your way into something rather than trying to logic it or figure out the solution or figure out what's supposed to happen, when you approach it with your heart, it clears the path. You cannot be, um, what's the word I'm looking for? You cannot be deceived. You cannot be misled when you bring your heart into it. Your heart, no matter what anyone says or does, no matter what the smoke or mirrors are coming up, your heart can see to the heart of the matter, to what is needed, to what is appropriate, to what is just, right? You know, owl is the totem of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, the Greek goddess of wisdom, who who is credited with teaching us democracy. And she always has an owl on her shoulder because when she looks through the eyes of owl, she can see what is just. She gave us the justice system, not revenge, not vengeance, not one-upmanship. She can see what is harmonious. She can see what is just. She can see what is truth. And so in reverse, um, there's kind of a need to trust your heart. Don't don't allow yourself to be misled by opinions of others or arguments of others. Don't get caught up in the logical debates and this and that and this equals that and blah 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 blah. There's no, when you get caught in that stuff, there is no resolution. Your brain cannot hold the solution to all those things. Your heart holds space. Your heart can see, your heart knows what is true. So stop trusting your mind to figure it out. And the thing is, when you know what that truth is, when you know what you need to do, um, you don't need to ask permission. You don't have to justify yourself to anyone. You don't have to ask other people's opinions. Owl is the only bird who is totally silent in her flight. Her feathers, the feathers of her wings are slightly different from other birds in that they don't have like the hard edge that other feathers do. They're softer around the edges so that when she flaps her wings, she doesn't get that whoosh, whoosh, whoosh that you get with other wings. She's totally silent. So she sees what's true. She sees what needs to be done. She swoops in grabs that mouse or that rabbit and flies out before even anyone knows she was there. Her heart is her authority. Your heart is your authority. And you are an apex predator. You don't need to justify yourself. You don't need to double think yourself, right? Doubt yourself. Trust your heart. Your heart knows. And and the thing is, it takes practice, right? This isn't like an overnight. Oh, I am, now I know because I can listen with my heart, right? It's like it takes practice, and it takes, like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna kind of slide off center and hit those rumble strips on the side of the road a little bit before you feel real, get better and better at staying centered, right? And so, just like you don't need to ask permission, you also don't need to continue to judge yourself. Results are just results. Just like Thomas Edison learning, 1,001 ways how not to invent the light bulb. All of the false starts, all of the wrong directions, all of the results that you're not looking for help you focus on what you are looking for. Right, and it's like tuning in a radio, right? Um, you tuning up to the station, right? You kinda get it in, and then you always kinda turn it a little bit past that station, and then you turn it back a little bit past, and it's like this back and forth as you're zooming in. And just like the owl, like if you've ever seen them, they see their prey, they start doing this, right? It's like they're tuning in to where that rabbit is. They have the triangulation, they have the eyes on the front of the head, like most predators, which gives them the ability, and so they move their heads back and forth. You've seen a lot of different hawks and eagles and owls doing that, where they kind of sway their head back and forth. What they're doing is they're getting a bead on their prey. They're getting a bead on their destination. And so it's like that tuning the radio. It's like, okay, you have to kind of zero in and then boom, go for it. So trust yourself, trust your feelings, trust your heart. You really do know the answers. So stop trying so hard. Stop, like a lot of things. One of my missions in life, I did a radio interview years and years ago, and the guy asked me, "Well, what is one of your goals in being a shaman?" And I found myself saying these words just popped out of my mouth. It's like, I want to demystify shamanism. And the guy was like, "How the hell are you going to do that? Because shamanism necessarily deals with spirits and such." And I'm like, but if we normalize spirits, if we normalize, when we realize everyone has spirit guides, that we are spirits having a human experience, that all this so called woo woo stuff is normal. We're just not taught that. We don't have the capacity to receive that. So when something weird happened, I was working in a warehouse one time when this guy freaked out because he was just talking about his mom, and then his mom called him on the phone, and it was like, oh my God, that's too weird, right? We're not taught, given that capacity for synchronicities. We're not given that capacity to connect all the dots. And so things seem woo woo. There's no logical explanation, there's no sense to them. But if you can demystify it and normalize being in sync. Normalize talking to your spirits, right? Normalize receiving intuitive hits and following them. Normalize that. Um, then you you will be fine. You will see and get everything that you desire. Um, there'll be nothing that you'll be in want of nothing. I'll put it that way. I'm just trying to tune in to see if there was anything else or how to put that a different way. But normalize miracles, like again, I guess it's a Wayne Dyer night because I keep quoting him. But another thing he said is, "I'm a realist. I expect miracles." Normalize miracles. Normalize the woo woo. It's really cool when the woo woo happens, right? And I'm never. I mean, I'm always pleasantly surprised when the synchronicities. It's like, oh my god, that is so cool, right? I mean, I'd never taken it like, yep, but and so there's this excitement and this joy when those things fall into place, right? It's like still recognizing the magic, but it's like that I'm always telling my students about adapting this attitude of expectant curiosity. You expect it, you expect things to work out, but you keep that curiosity alive, like you have no idea how it's going to work out, right? And then the synchronicity happens, and someone shows up out of the blue with exactly the answer you were looking for. It's like, woohoo! That was amazing. I never would have guessed that. I never would have planned it. I never could plan it that way. Right. And so you're leaving room for the miraculous and yet normalizing that that is the way life works. Oh, you're so welcome, Moon Honey. I'm glad that made sense to you. I'm glad that was helpful. All right. So I am running a little out of time. So um, that was our 5 cards. And I hope they were all helpful. Give me 1 second. I need to see if I can find something real quick. Do, 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 da, do, 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 do. So, if you were here earlier, my first card. Oh, you're so welcome, Charles. I mean, this is why I do this. I just This comes so natural. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier. This is what comes naturally to me. This is just me talking and talking about stuff I love. And the fact that I say things and people get something out of it is just the bonus. It's like the frosting. So I'm so glad that was helpful. All right. So the first card I did tonight wasn't a card because one of my stalwart followers, was asking about panda medicine. And so I decided to do the first card, quote unquote, for her on Panda, even though it's not a part of that deck. But I have at least a half a dozen of different animal card decks. I should mix them up sometime. Um, but this one has a panda in it so that I can do the main community reading. Come on, I know you're in there. Bum, 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 bum. You're gonna be the last, almost the last card. All right. So What I'm gonna do is take the 5 cards that, um, we already did, and I'm gonna put them into a 5-card spread. So, if you were to come to me for a one-on-one card reading, this is the kind of reading you would get. This is the spread I use, and of course, when we're one-on-one, I can go into much more depth and connect the lines, connect the dots a lot more, make it a little more personal and deeper than I can in those general readings like tonight. Um, and if you would like that, you can visit my website at perchingwolfstudios.net, where you can learn more about me and you can see the different services I offer, readings and healings and teachings. Oh my. And you can sign up for a reading right on my website there. I love doing readings for people. Um, and since I'm still shuffling, looking for the cards, I mentioned at the beginning of this time together that this coming Thursday, April 9th, I am going to be teaching a Zoom class on it's my introduction to shamanism class. So if you follow me, if you've been watching my videos, if you're curious about shamanism, want to explore it deeper or anything like that, this is the class for you. And it's not only will you learn about shamanism, I will teach you the technique of shamanic journeying, which is the technique that shamans have used for over 100,000 years to connect to their spirit guides. Shamanism is a practice of direct revelation. There's no middleman. It's a relationship and a conversation that will last lifetimes between you and your spirit guides. Um, and so, if you feel called by the spirits, or you're curious, or you're in a place where you're looking for spiritual direction, this is a great place to start. And I have a post on my YouTube channel about it with the information and everything. Or you can look on my website, perchingwillstudios.net, and look at the upcoming events and classes page. And you can register right there. And if you enjoy that, or you know how to journey already and you want to deepen the journey, a week from Thursday, I am starting a year-long class, monthly class. Every month we spend 3 hours exploring different aspects of shamanism. Um, and it's called Deepening the Journey, because once you learn how to journey in this introduction class, then everything else is learning what questions to ask. And we'll learn different spirit guides that we can connect to, different realms we can go to the fairy realm, connect with ancestors, connect with descendants, um, connect with the trees, journey into dreams, journey into stories, um, different different ways to journey, um, and just like the questions, how to ask questions, how to receive healing, how to receive guidance, and to practice for a whole year being on the path of the shaman. It doesn't mean you're necessarily a shaman, but everyone can learn how to do shamanic journey. Anyone can live a shamanic life. So um, again, I have a post on YouTube about that, or you can look at my Facebook page. I've got the event page on my Facebook page and on my perchingwillstudios.net website. So I would love to have you along for the ride. I love teaching, and I've been teaching that course for like somewhere around a decade. It's been like 10 years that I've been teaching that class. And every class, every group of students goes a little bit further than the class before it. It's really a wonderful thing to watch. All right, so I'm running out of time, but we're going to do a kind of a quick reading here. Okay, and can we zoom in a little bit? There we go. So, got this little interloper card from. So this is the normally I use the medicine cards. This one is from Animal Messages. Seek inspiration from your animal guides, brought by Susie Green. Um, so that the panda bear, someone at the beginning, Lasati, one of my followers at the beginning, asked about panda medicine, so I just made that the first card. But panda doesn't exist in the medicine card deck, so pulled her from a different card, a different deck. So this is the spread I use when I do one-on-ones with people, and it's basically the medicine wheel. It's the four directions. And my phone might be in mirror mode, so that I don't know that the sides will come out exactly when you're watching this. But this is east, south, west, north, and center. And so this is the community. This is all of your individual paths and medicines interdependently weaving into the fabric and the tapestry of the community. And so I like to start in the east where the sun rises. So over here we have Panda, and this card actually says, enjoy the sanctuary of solitude to regain self esteem and tranquility. Beautiful. Like I said, anytime you've got an animal that, like black and white, a big part of the medicine is about discernment. It's about focusing. And it's it's not like I I I have a degree in art, right? And one of the arguments I remember hearing when I was an art student was, what's more important, the white of the paper or the black of the ink? And I was just like, I can't think of a more ridiculous question, because you need both. They work together. It's the yin yang, it's balance, right? It's a balance between the unseen, the womb, potential, and the seen, the white, the light, bringing into the light of day what we are manifesting. And so there's a lot of fluidity, there's a lot of playfulness, right? Like panda bear. And there's this gentle giant energy, playful, gentle giant, like being powerful, and yet those who are truly powerful um don't need to prove their power. They just are, right? And so there's this playful power, this playful, the world is your playground kind of thing, right? And that's in the east, which is air. So that's the mental realm. So like we're starting to make that discernment. If we can't actually embody it or feel it yet, we're seeing where we're going, right? Um, and if we jump across to the west, which is water, so this is the emotional realm, there can be there can be a bit of almost despair between these two, because we can see what we want, we can see clearly, but emotionally we have a hard time believing or embodying, bringing this from the mind into the heart, into the body, into the feelings. And so there can be this sense of overwhelm. But we have to remember, just like Lizard, that we are the dreamers dreaming this world into reality, and that anything we dream. I was just watching watching the a video about from this um, astrophysicist last night, and he was talking about how okay, if I can put this, I don't remember exactly how he said it, but if I can put it into words, it's like because we are part of the system of the universe, he was saying how he doesn't believe our brains are capable of conceiving of anything that's impossible. Does that make sense? So, literally, if you can dream it, you can make it happen. It's like Abraham Hicks said, like if you can dream it, if you can desire it, you can be, have, or do anything. If you can dream it, it's within the realms of possibility. And so this is about seeing the vision and then owning it, knowing that we have the power to make it come true, that we have to dream bigger and recognize that we are we are the engine of creation, that we are the co-creators of this reality, that we're not just reacting to something else, that we are the source, like everything we believe, everything we dream, everything we can see ripples into the universe and the universe makes it happen. Law of attraction, right? And so there's this we can see what we want, we can see that it's a possibility, but there's a disconnect in um still that sense of I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing. But this is about needing to flip that and know that we don't have to see the results in order to be able to feel what those results feel like. That we can be the change, live in the world from the heart, being kind to all people, being just to all people, etc. Whether the world is just or not, whether the world is you know chaos, we can still live in the world, be the presence of love and joy and all these things that we want. So this is turning that on its head to become the source of what we're dreaming of, right? And kind of because of this disconnect down here in the south is fire. So that's the place of passion, the place of action. And as I was talking about in the individual reading, salmon in reverse. Salmon is about going home. Salmon is about returning to your origin, returning to the purity of who you are. And in doing so, your home is upriver. Most people get pushed downriver, go flowing down the river. Um, but salmon sees pathways. Salmon can sense the places where the flow of the water goes the opposite direction of the main flow, like the undercurrents, um, or the whirlpools or the ebbs, where the water goes the opposite way. And so, in a way, salmon is a visionary. And in reverse, it's like we're kind of chasing our tail. We're in this holding pattern. Again, we can see where we want to go. We know it's a possibility. We don't feel like we know how to get there. We're not trusting our inborn compass. We think it's like we feel like there's something we have to do, like lizard dropping its tail. We feel like there's something that we need to sacrifice to get here, not realizing that the thing we need to sacrifice is our doubt and our disbelief in what we want, or the disbelief and the judgment of ourselves that we can't do it. Does that make sense? Um, so we're kind of in a holding pattern right now. Um, but like I always say, like when I'm doing a reading, when there are cards in reverse, reverse does not mean we're doing something wrong. It's not a condemnation. It's not Oh, you better straighten up and fly right, right? This just happens to be where we are. These are the things that are in motion. These are the things that are happening behind the stage in the wings, right? So we're starting to feel this. This wouldn't be here in this reading if we didn't have this medicine working for us. So underneath everything is this swelling up of knowing we can have whatever we dream, trusting our hearts to move in the right direction. And the two things that we have holding this, anchoring this in for us in the north, in, besides the vision, the mental realm, north is earth. So this is physical realm, practical world. And in here, we're starting to realize the illusionary prospects, the illusionary aspects of our reality, that there is so much more than what is seen, that we are, that this world is a production of some sort. We're still learning that we are the ones who make the change, that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We're realizing the illusionary state of the universe so that we're not feeling trapped by circumstances, but we're still learning that we are the ones who have the power to change those circumstances. Like Possum being the actor, right? Realizing that he she is not the character she's playing, she's not the ego, she's not the personality. She is the actor playing that part, that she is spirit having a human experience. And so this awareness is increasing even in the physical world, like um, becoming mainstream, right? Which is funny to say with salmon down here. And so we have these kind of anchoring us, and we're still working on these ideas of being the doers and the shakers, right? And where this is all leading is to this place with owl in reverse. And this is heralding a new vision, a new way of seeing, right? Seeing to the heart of the matter, like over here with Panda, we in our world we still tend to favor the light over the dark. We don't understand the dark, but this is deepening this experience of realizing that the dark holds all the mystery, all the secrets of the universe, that it's from the dark that the light emerges, that solid reality emerges from the pure potential that is that darkness, that is the womb of the mother. Um, and so it's kind of like as these things come online, as we start to dream bigger and notice that the universe responds to our needs and our desires and our dreams, and we start to trust our heart and follow the path less traveled, right? um that affects, it clarifies our vision even more, brings into physical manifestation even more of what we're dreaming of, and brings the power back to ourselves, where we know ourselves to be. Um, so that, like I mentioned before, with owl seeing through the dark, is like feeling your way through the world, feeling your way through your life with your heart, because your heart cannot be deceived. Your heart is connected to all things. And so your heart cannot be deceived. Your mind can be played with. But it's like this coming around the spiral is leading us back to our own hearts, to actually see what is just, to recognize the connection that's already there, to to create this world that is based in love, that is based in honor, that is based in respect, where all people can have what they need. And by everyone having what they need, everyone else benefits. So it's not that we're doing something wrong and we have to, change our ways to get there. These are the things that are in transition. These are the things that are changing right now, that are coming online to deepen those. So that is what I see for our community. Extreme close up. Let me back up a little bit. So that is our community reading. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you enjoyed your time tonight. Thank you again so much for spending some time with me. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like my videos and all that good stuff, because that helps me and that helps others find me, I guess. Um, Thank you, Charles. I always love doing these readings, so thank you. Have a great week yourself. I appreciate that. Um, and I appreciate all of you who watch this, whether you're watching it live or on repeat, on replay. What else? Um, if you do enjoy my videos, if you get something from them, um, and wish to reciprocate in a different way, I have my Venmo link in the description. This is my day job. So this is how I make my living. And so you can support your friendly neighborhood shaman and better, make me better able to continue these videos by supporting me. That helps to keep a roof over my kitty's head and food in her tummy. It helps me to be able to focus on like my own spiritual path, so that I have more to bring to you through these videos, through the classes, etc. And whatever you wish to give me, I greet with such great gratitude. Thank you so much. Um, what else? I mentioned the classes going on this week, and then the year-long class starting next week. So give that a look. You can check out the information on my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. And if you enjoy this video and you would like a personal one-on-one reading, we can surely do that. You can set up right on my website, you can set up a session with me, can learn more about me. You can see the different shamanic services I offer, readings and healings and teachings. Oh my. And I have what I call my shaman sampler. If you're new to shamanic work, normally it's $120 for an hour session, whether it's a reading or a healing. But um, I have a shaman sampler where I'll do a half-hour reading and a half-hour healing for you for $111. So if you're just wanting to get your feet wet, if you're wanting to investigate, you're wanting to see how this pertains to you personally, that is a great way to start. Um, And I mentioned the classes that I'm doing this week and next week, but if you are one who prefers one-on-one, I also offer mentorships to people, one-on-one mentorships, where I ask for like a 6-month um, commitment, and we can meet once a month. And after that 6 months, we can always continue going. It's just that I want at least um, for a mentorship, it's a process. And so I don't want to just be here and there. And so consistency helps. Um, but I can do that too. And I love working with people one on one to really get into those areas that you personally need, like confidence in. And it's not so much teaching you things you don't know, but validating that this is natural to you, that you already know the answers, that you know how to do this. And it's not to create a carbon copy of myself, but to help you find your own guidance, work with your own guides, so that you can find your own unique path. So that is all the announcements, I think. And again, I thank you so much for joining me. Um, I hope you'll see you again next week. Normally, I do a Wednesday night video as well. I do my sacred pipe ceremony on Wednesday nights, but this coming Wednesday, I'm taking a break because I have a gig. I have I have a party to do readings at. So um, no pipe ceremony this week, but I hope I will see you again next week, Monday night, for our next medicine card readings. And until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining. All right. Bye now.